What's up, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Gimme presented by BetMGM. Why the Gimme? You guys know why? Because it's good. We're less than 12 hours away from the first tee time at the AT&T Byron Nelson. And yes, we've got a new venue. We will talk all about it. TPC Craig Ranch. What's in store this week? Well, I can tell you what's in store for this show. I'm Jason Sobel. He is Justin Ray from the 21st group. She is Amanda Rose. And coming up over the next little bit, we're going to spin the betting wheel. We're going to give our perfect portfolios. We're going to make our own DFS lineup. And yes, we've got a first round leader contest. If you're one of two people on Twitter to get the first round leader correct, we're going to give you a nice golf bet hoodie. I'm still waiting on mine, but I haven't gotten a first round leader bet yet, right yet. So maybe this show will be the day that I can finally get that hoodie. Guys, what's going on? Amanda, how are you? What are you looking at this week?
I'm good, Jason. How are you? I am looking at a little bit of a Spieth well playing week.
Very well said.
If that is English.
Yes, Spieth well playing. Me like grammar.
Yes.
Words hard. Sound good.
Jason, one bet I like this week. Our friends at BetMGM have Patton Kizzire plus 225 to be the low man in his first round group with Jason Day and Charles Howell III. Really like that bet. Kizzire is top 20 on the PGA Tour in scoring in rounds 1 and 2 this season, 66 and 69 his last two opening rounds. I like him to win his group on day one.
I'm sort of on the same page as you, Jay Ray. I usually just kind of give you a name here. I'm going to talk a lot about so-and-so over the next 20 minutes, but instead, BetMGM has a cut special. They've got a bunch of them. One in particular I really like, Thomas Peters, Brandt Snedeker, and Charles Schwartzel, plus 290 for the three-way parlay just to make the cut this week. By the way, those three players have a combined 20 straight made cuts in worldwide events. So let's see if we can keep that going and cash that bet this week. Let's get to the top of this board at the AT&T Byron Nelson. John Rahm is your favorite at BetMGM, plus 750 if you want to chase a missed cut from last week. Bryson DeChambeau, of course, right up there as well, plus 800. Jordan Spieth, 10-1. Daniel Berger, 16-1. Matt Fitzpatrick and Scotty Scheffler are each 18-1. Let's get to our perfect portfolios. And as you can see last week, those guys did great. This guy did not. Harold Varner, you're dead to me. I'm HB3's, he's such a good guy. I can't even say it without, apologizing immediately after.
He's going to be a father, Jason. How dare you?
I'm a father too. It's not that great. Guys, great work last week.
That's a heavy term. Let's not get carried away, Jason.
Justin, just take it in stride. It's sort of like betting on golf. It sounds really exciting at the beginning, and then you're like, oh, after a while, wow, this is be nice to win one once in a while. In any case, guys,
like Jason's DFS, just like Jason's portfolio.
I kid. Amanda, where are you going this week?
So I'm going to start off with Will Zalatoris top 10. He's coming off a missed cut last week, but I mean, he's going to win at some point. He's just been playing so well. It feels like every week he's inside the top 10. And it's amazing for a guy who's made like 0 FedEx Cup points. So I love it for him. I think he is going to come in the top 10 this week. Actually, I'm going top 10s across the board here. Jordan Spieth is next. He's playing well. He has a lot of history at this event. We saw him as a 16-year-old amateur, finishing in tie for 16th in 2010. He's already won this season in his home state. He's a Dallas guy. I don't personally know if he's played this course, but I'd be shocked if he didn't know this course really well. Matt Fitzpatrick, he flights the ball low. He's a really good first-round scoring average, and I just love to pick him whenever I can. And finally, Mark Leishman. This is an Australian who absolutely loves playing golf in Texas. He loves this event. He finished runner-up at Trinity Forest back in 2018. So I like Mark Leishman here this week. So all top 10s for you.
Yeah, I like those, Amanda. In fact, a couple of those guys are on my list already for next week. Mark Leishman is a guy that Justin Ray and I have talked about on the pod, fits a lot for the PGA Championship next week as well. But let's stick with this week. I'm going with a guy, and I got on the dark web, and I did some serious Justin Ray type of research this week. The Metro Area Championship of 2006, I believe, maybe 2007, was won by 9-year-old Scott Alexander Scheffler. It was a 9-hole event. He shot a 1 over 37, made 2 birdies, which was one more than the rest of the field combined. But he happened to do it at TPC Craig Ranch. So there's your course history tip this week. Scotty Scheffler. I'm taking him for a top 5 this week, but I like him outright as well. Moving on to Keith Mitchell. I almost did it. Keith Mitchell, Killer Keith. Top 10 this week after playing really well at Quail Hollow. He was the 54-hole leader, 20 birdies last week. And you'll hear a theme throughout the show, at least from me, is that there are going to be a whole lot of birdies. I want guys that can put a lot of circles on the card, and Keith Mitchell is a guy that can do that. Patton Kizzire is a player that Jay Ray has already mentioned. I will mention him a lot as well. He's popping in a lot of the birdie metrics. I like him for a top 20. And guys, can we please put some respect on Vince Whaley's name? All the man has done is 6 straight top 40 finishes. I'm not sure anyone can pick him out of a lineup. I'm not sure I can pick him out of a lineup, but I know the guy's playing good golf. I'd love to see it on TV one day. Just one shot, guys. One shot. I want to see a Vince Whaley. Justin.
Top 40. It's like Casey Kasem of golf. And I think you just inadvertently tied my name, youth sports, and the phrase the dark web together, and I'm really not a big fan of that. So just try to distance myself from whatever. I also
denounced fatherhood.
Whatever cocktail of nonsense you just threw me into.
The dark web is like Jason's new thing. He tweeted it recently, and I'm like, Jason, I don't think you know what that means, and it's fine, but like.
Anyway, let's get back to my perfect portfolio. I also like Jordan Spieth. I like him in the top 10 this week. His best career finish at the Byron Nelson, amazingly, is his finish, his tie for 16th when he was a 16-year-old amateur. I think that ends this week. He's got 7 top 15 finishes in his last 8 starts. Since the Phoenix Open, he's been one of the best on the PGA Tour in strokes gained approach. Positive strokes gained approach in 24 of his last 28 rounds played. I also like Daniel Berger. Traditionally, he's been really good in the weeks leading into major championships. You think about him winning at the FedEx St. Jude a couple years in a row, the week before the U.S. Open, tied for 13th at Harbour Town in his last start. Yeah, I think he performs well here in a field that's kind of top heavy, in my opinion. I've got a guy, if I was to ask you, who do you think has the most birdies per round in the state of Texas over the last decade? I don't think anyone would guess Sebastian Munoz. But that's the man. That's the man I'm picking to finish in the top 20 this week. I think he's got a great value, good value with the number there to finish in the top 20. And another guy who I think is one of the most interesting players in the field this week, an American who plays primarily on the European Tour, John Catlin has won 3 times on the European Tour since last September. Ricky Fowler and he both got special exemptions in the PGA. Fowler's was controversial. Catlin's not so much. I think he's one of the most interesting players in the field this week. Top 5 in strokes gained tee to green, strokes gained approach in 2 of his last 3 European Tour starts. I've got him to top 20, Jason.
I apologize for cutting you off, Justin, but you had asked the question of, who has the most birdies in the state of Texas, and I knew the answer because I listened to the Action Network podcast this week where you said
fair
that
enough
as well. So
I didn't give you the chance to butt in. I just pushed right through it.
And by the way, fatherhood, I feel I'm going to do the Payne Stewart thing. You're going to love being a father, Jay Ray. Okay. Let's move on. As mentioned, a new venue this week, TPC Craig Ranch, 7,468 yard, par 72. I've heard some whispers, and I heard the whispers today from players. This is basically Bryson's paradise. This is set up where you can just mash off the tee, go find it. You're not going to get in that much trouble and go hit it again. So I'm just saying the guy who's 8-1 on the board right now might play into his hands just a little bit. Had Ronnie O'Brien, the director of golf at TPC Craig Ranch, on Hitting the Green, our SiriusXM PGA Tour radio show earlier this week. His estimation was that 21 under could be the winning score this week. These guys usually like to say, hey, our course is pretty tough. I know these guys are really good, but I don't know that they're going to tear it up. He's basically predicting they're going to tear it up, which could mean they go even lower than that. So you're going to see a whole lot of red numbers. I expect it to be at least 21 under par this week. So I mentioned earlier, we've got a first round leader contest. If you go on Twitter and you're one of the first 2 to get the correct response to the first round leader on Thursday, you can win a Golf Bet hoodie. I'm hoping I can win one. Amanda, do you have one? Or are you going to just win it with your pick this week?
I don't have one. I'm kind of waiting for someone to send me one, if we're being honest.
Same. Yeah. All right. Well, make your pick and maybe you'll win it this week.
Okay. So my pick is going to be Jordan Spieth. He's been getting off to really hot starts early in the week. We saw it a lot in the month of February and then again in the month of March, leading into when he ended up winning. So I'm going with Jordan Spieth for it. Dallas kid it just kind of adds up. And like Jason said, Justin, the other old guy, said he's good this week.
Yeah, drive by is that? What, I'm old now?
I'm about to be a dad.
Oh, hi.
I don't make the rules.
Am I next,
guys.
Jason, or you?
You're next. I'm just glad I'm off the hook. I threw daggers last segment, but
I almost said bald guys, but Justin has too much hair.
Oh, come on, my barber charges me double. This is so lush.
I just said that I couldn't insult you in that way. In the follicular way.
My first round leader is KH Lee. Since the beginning of the Florida swing, KH Lee has a first round scoring average of 69.6. That's 5th best of any player in that span, but it's best of anyone in the field. I'm going to change up my formula a little bit and go with a guy who's had that statistical hot hand in the opening round.
Amanda, you picked Jordan Spieth, and then you mentioned that you don't like guys without that much hair. So I don't know. I'm getting mixed messages here.
Pretty sure Jordan's done the Sergio where he's gone back in and gotten a little more hair. Because if you look between the 2014 and 2015 Masters, there's a little more hair there. So, Sergio inserted a carpet on his head. It looks great. He's starting to age like a fine wine now, but it's a little extreme.
Some of the best analysis we've ever had on the show from you, Amanda.
Why do you think you hired me? Come on.
Hair breakdowns. I am going Hogecoin to the moon.
Hogecoin.
Pronounced Hoagie. I'm calling it Hogecoin. He is 14th, Tom Hoagie, on the PGA Tour in round 1 scoring average this season in his last 6 starts. He's got a 67, a 68, and a 69 on Thursdays. I like Tom Hoagie to go low in the state where he played his college golf at TCU. Let's get to our ultimate DFS lineup. We do it every week on the Action Network podcast. And of course, you can go to Fantasy Labs, check out our models and tools. And of course, as always, we go on DraftKings. We're picking 6 players, 2 each. Who's going to go first? Let's spin the wheel. Amanda, you go.
How did that happen? Who knows? I'm gonna go with, you just mentioned a guy that played TCU. I'm gonna go with the guy that played at Texas, Doug Gim. His game is just in such a good spot. He's just playing so well. It's Texas golf. He plays well in Texas. I like where his game is, and you're still getting a good value on him. He's been under owned on DraftKings for a while, so I'm going to start off the lineup with Doug Gim. I want to give you guys an opportunity to have a little more money than usual because I'm a very nice and caring person.
Really is.
Despite what the rumors say.
Really is. Yeah.
Shortly after calling me old, I'm going to go with John Catlin, the guy I mentioned earlier. I think it's 7,200. It's a really good price for a player who's had terrific ball striking numbers in Europe all season long, especially his last 3 starts. Top 5 in strokes gained tee to green and strokes gained approach in his win in Austria and in his top 5 finish in the Canary Islands recently. I really think he's a really good value at 7,200. We've got a lot of money left for the rest of our roster.
At least you're old and you have hair. I'm just old and hairless. I am going to go with Keith. Don't call me Kevin Mitchell. Hey, I almost got the name wrong in the first second, but at least I didn't go with the headlines after he won the Honda Classic a couple of years ago, which were no name wins the Honda Classic. That did not go over well on the PGA Tour. I do think he's going to make a ton of birdies. Love how he's driving the ball. In fact, I love the story that Jim Nantz related from Brandt Snedeker, his Zurich Classic partner, who said if that was an individual event in New Orleans, Keith Mitchell would have won by 10. Maybe a little hyperbole, but I'm okay with that. I like hyperbole. Amanda, second pick.
So my second pick, I am going to spend a little more money. I'm going with Daniel Berger. He's such a good ball striker. Strokes gained approach is going to be a big statistic this week for people to pay attention to. So I like that he can flight the ball low. He hits the crap out of the ball. He kind of, he doesn't have to keep it in the fairway this week. So I like Daniel Berger, a little more expensive, but I like his game in Texas.
Jay Ray.
So I'm going back to my guy with my favorite number of the week. Sebastian Munoz, leading all players in birdies in Texas over the last 10 years or so. I really like this value at $7,600 for a player I think is going to make a ton of birdies. Mentioned that track record in the state of Texas. And I've been spending a lot of money on this team the last few weeks. So I wanted to leave Jason with a little bit extra. And I know how much we've got left on the board. And I know there's one particular Texan that Sobel's had his eye on.
You are really good at math, Jay Ray. I tell you what. I don't know what kind of calculators you guys got at the 21st group, but you have figured out that that's exactly the right amount that I wanted left to spend $9,400 on Mr. Scotty Scheffler. Scott Alexander Scheffler. He's won here before. He can do it again. Really like him this week. If we're looking at an event which has yielded some first-time winners in the last handful of years, I think Scotty Scheffler is certainly on a list with Will Zalatoris, and Matt Fitzpatrick is a guy who is primed and ready to win for the first time on the PGA Tour, and it could be this week. Doug Gim, John Catlin, Keith Mitchell, Daniel Berger, Sebastian Munoz, Scott Alexander Scheffler. That's the team. Guys, time to play the wheel. We've got 6 big names on our betting wheel. We're going to buy them or sell them. Ricky Fowler, Jason Day. By the way, guys, did you see Jason Day said today that if he doesn't qualify for the U.S. Open, he's not going to go to sectional qualifying because he's got a corporate outing for NetJets that day. We should all be so have those kind of first world problems. So sorry to hear it from Jason Day. It's bad luck. In any case, Ricky Fowler, Jason Day, Brooks Koepka, Hideki Matsuyama making his first start since the Masters victory, Will Zalatoris, and Sergio Garcia. Some interesting buy-sell options there. Super producer Evan Abrams, please get this train back on the track.
I was going to say, based on how the show's gone so far, I was scared to come on air. The insults being thrown back and forth, I didn't know what I was going to get. So we're definitely not going to start with Amanda. So let's just spin the wheel first based on what happened. It's okay. All right, we're going to spin. Fair. It's Sergio Garcia. Jason, go. Please save us.
I am buying Sergio. There's been a lot of steam on Sergio over the last 24, 48 hours. I've heard his name a lot. You can get him right now at BetMGM, I believe right at 45 to 1, maybe 50 to 1. And so I think it's a nice play outright. Sergio has won a tournament in every year somewhere around the globe since 2011, has nothing in 2021 yet. So I do think one is coming. He's driving it so well. He's always driven it well. He's driven it well for 20 something years, but he's picked up some yardage, picked up about 15, 20 yards off the tee over the past year or so. And that's really helping him. And I think it'll help him even more this week. So there are a bunch of names on this wheel I would have sold, but I'm going to buy Sergio.
All right, let's pull that back. Let's spin it again. Let's see what we get. And it is, I was honestly, I wanted Matsuyama. It's right next to it. It's Koepka. Amanda, Brooks Koepka, where are you going?
Well, I would like to sell Brooks Koepka. Nothing personal. I think he's probably waiting to bring his A game or B game. That was a really bad joke. See, that was like a Jason Justin dad joke. Get it? Because you're dads. So I as much as I would like to sell, as much as I'd like to buy Brooks, I'm gonna actually sell him. I think he's just kind of saving his best stuff for Kiowa. I know he's been dealing with the knee issue, and last week when I sold the person won. So go ahead, guys, go put all your money on Brooks. Because I said to sell him.
I was literally just going to say, week before a major, not sure I want to buy Brooks Koepka, but that's just where I'm at right now. So same page. All right, let's flip it back one more. Yeah, listen, I'm on the same page there. I always love fading the big guys. All right, let's spin it again. Let's go. This one's for J Ray. Who do we got? J Ray is getting. Oh, of course, it's Matsuyama. First start after the Masters. Buy, sell.
I'm going to sell for this week, not necessarily for the PGA, but 5 of the last 7 major champions finished 50th or worse in their next start. So I think that there's a little bit of truth to the theory that players can have a major championship victory hangover. Colin Morikawa missed the cut the week after winning the PGA. Tiger missed the cut after he won the Masters. Gary Woodland missed the cut in his first start at the U.S. Open. More often than not, there is a major victory hangover. So I love Hideki, but I'm going to play the numbers and sell him this week.
Yeah, guys, I'm with both of you guys. I think Hideki and Brooks are nice fade plays this week, based on the fact that neither one has played since the Masters, and they've both basically said this week is prep for next week, and so they're not really looking at this week. Evan, get out of here before Amanda starts making fun of you.
Seriously. All right, see you guys for the major.
Thanks, Evan. All right, just a minute left here on the show. Thank goodness. Give me a long shot you haven't mentioned yet.
Me?
Justin.
Okay.
My long shot's going to be Will Gordon at 300 to 1. I'll go with a guy with a really high ceiling and really fast club head speed, among the fastest club head speeds on the PGA Tour, really in the world of golf. Hammers the driver. Performance off the tee is going to be significant this week. He's going to be my long shot.
Now you can go, Amanda.
Thank you. So Justin kind of took my thunder like 15 times. I had John Catlin here. I mean, he just won in Austria a few weeks ago. He's so consistent in Europe. Like he's one of those guys. I'm so happy to see him in the US, have him get some crazy odds. So I love John Catlin. His swing is a weird little like flat-footed swing, and he does some weird kind of hitchy thing, but I like it and it works. You go ahead, Jason.
Oh, thank you. I'm going to go with Sepp Straka. He's a favorite bet of mine over the last year or two. 150 to 1 this week. Much like Patton Kizzire, he pops in a lot of these birdie metrics, birdie or better percentage, rounds in the 60s. He's in the top 20 this year on the PGA Tour. And so Sepp Straka is a guy that isn't afraid to go low based on those numbers. So I like him this week. Thank you to everybody for withstanding this edition of the Gimme. You can follow all of our content on Golf Bet this and every week. For Amanda Rose and Justin Ray, by the way, new dad to be Justin Ray, so gonna have a few weeks off, but pre-birth congratulations to you, Jay Ray.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, guys.
So for my cohorts, I'm Jason Sobel, and good luck to everybody out there with your bets on the AT&T Byron Nelson this week. Here's hoping you guys hit the green.